Hey guys, well, welcome back to Walk and Talk review. I guess we're doing. I don't even know if I'm calling it a walk and talk. I think it's kind of what I'm doing, right? Oh, the lizard down there. I don't want to step on him. This is actually my second time doing this video. I did one the other day over at the in Safety Harbor down by the docks, well, boat ramp, I guess. And it was so freaking windy. I was listening back to it. You couldn't hear anything. It was just wind blowing in there. So it's a little calmer today. It's overcast. The only thing I'm worried about right now is getting rained out, so we'll see how this goes. But Rob over at Northern Revolutions, he recently did a U2 ranking of his U2 albums, which it can be hard. We were talking about it last night on a live stream, and he said it's hard, you know, when you're so close to an artist to do that. And I get it, because I don't know. I've always thought about doing like a Billy Joel ranking. I don't know how the heck. I just, you know, it just depends on the day. I just like every single album, so I don't know how I would possibly rank it. Every time I think I got it figured out, I don't. But anyway, with him doing the U2 thing, it got me thinking about U2, and I had just done a 3-album, like listening to the first 3 albums of Wilco and kind of ranking those. So I was kind of thinking about U2. I've heard their early stuff, where it's more like new wavy to me, kind of sound. And I've heard their stuff. I've kind of heard everything all the way through the career, and I think I know where I fall as far as U2 goes. I'll never be a completist on U2, but I always kind of focused in on three albums, and they were right in a row. And I figured, you know, let me go back, listen to those 3, and rank those. And then what I'll do is actually listen to the albums that fall before those albums, and I'll listen to the albums that fall after those albums. What the heck was that? Something big flying out of a tree up there. Never know what you're gonna get over here. Well, the 3 albums I'm talking about are Joshua Tree, Rattle and Hum, and Octung Baby. So I went ahead and went before Joshua Tree and started with The Unforgettable Fire. Worked my way through Joshua Tree, Rattle and Hum, Octung Baby, and went up to Zooropa. So 5 albums. And I'll go ahead and do like a 5-album ranking. I had an idea of where those 3 main albums fell, but it actually changed. So I'll let you know about that. Anyway, so I started with The Unforgettable Fire. It was 1984. And looking at this is pretty much like a 9-year period of U2. So The Unforgettable Fire was 84, and then Zooropa was 93. So I listened to Unforgettable Fire, and it was a decent album. I have a point system I use. Once I get that figured out, the rest of it's kind of like school grades. I'll give you the grades afterwards, but this is what I thought about The Unforgettable Fire. So it's good production and sound, except for Pride in the Name of Love. I didn't get anything out of the lyrics, anything out of the rest of the whole album, and some people are disagreeing with me on that, so I need to go back and kind of maybe listen to those lyrics some more. But I don't know, I didn't get much out of the lyrics. But Pride in the Name of Love, of course, that's a well-written song, well-done song. That's like my favorite song. Well, the one song that really stands out on the album for me. There's a song on there, Elvis Presley and America, and I found it repetitive and boring. It just didn't do it for me. So Pride in the Name of Love would be the highest point, and the Elvis Presley song would be the lowest point on that album for me. And then also you can hear the Edge's guitar work and his effects, a lot of reverb, chorus, stuff like that going on. You can really hear that. I call it like the jangle jangle, not in a bad way, jangle jangle kind of sound, that sound you hear and you think of Joshua Tree. I hear that forming in this album, so it's cool to kind of hear like the beginning bits of that happening. Really, that was the biggest. Pride was the biggest one, and 4th of July. Those are the 2 what I consider the best songs on the album for me. And I told you, Elvis, my opinion on Elvis Presley. The rest were middle of the road for me. They didn't really bring about any feeling, or I didn't know how I felt about them one way or the other. So they kind of fall down the middle of the road. So that's what kind of brings the ranking down a little bit on it. Then I listened to the Joshua Tree, 1987. And now this is where things get better. The songs that really stand out on this for me are Where the Streets Have No Name, Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, With or Without You, Running to Stand Still, Red Hill Mining Town. Those are the big ones for me. I do like Bullet the Blue Sky. Yeah, it's mostly the album. Bullet the Blue Sky. The only reason I didn't... Gotta love those scam calls. There's a thing that I do. I kind of rank stuff, put a little ranking system, and then I put a little smiley face if I really like it. That's my thing of going, hey, pay attention to this song. So it could be a 3, but I don't know. It's in my head. But anyway. But yeah, Bullet the Blue Sky is really good on here too, but I like the version on Rattle and Hum a little bit better. But yeah, everything really, the tracks 1 through 9, if it was a 9-song album, they left off Exit and Mothers of the Disappeared, it would have been like a perfect album for me. And not that I don't like those songs. They didn't get the lowest ranking. They kind of, those 2 songs fell into that, I don't know. Starting to rain a little bit more. Maybe I should start heading home here. Those 2 songs just fell into that I don't know how I feel about it category. So that's just what kind of brought the ranking down a little bit. Big improvement on the lyrics. Running to Stand Still really stuck out and really sort of caught my attention. I was listening to the lyrics, looked it up, and it was about like heroin addiction and things like that, and the way Bono wrote the lyrics.
Sweet the sin, bitter the taste.
And the way the song was produced really caught my attention. There's some cool slide guitar and harmonica in there. And this is Daniel Lanois producing, so you have that atmosphere that he can create, that space. So it's a really good song. And then plenty of melodies and hooks. And then production was outstanding. So there's your Daniel Lanois production. And of course, the Edge is really finding his way in there as far as his sound, that unique Joshua Tree sound that he had. And then we went on to Rattle and Hum, just full of great songs. It showed You Two Could Rock. The Edge was on fire with his guitar work and stuff on here as far as I'm concerned. The version of Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, to me, just kills the original with the choir and all that stuff in there. It's just amazing. Every song got the highest rating, 8 or 9 really stood out, but all 16 tracks, even the little quick Freedom for My People that's about 20 seconds long or whatever is killer. It works. I know it's like it's between live performance and studio performance, but even the studio performances, it has the feel of a live performance. So for me, it doesn't break character. You know, I don't hear the big differences. The only difference I hear between what feels live and studio is not until the very end, where they do All I Want Is You, which, oh God, I love that song. That's the only part that I thought, was different, but I still like it. It was like having a live album or a live feeling album, and then you end it with a studio performance. I know that was kind of like the big thing for people, the mix between the 2 things, but I just never really noticed it that much. Felt like mostly a live album to me. Then into Octung Baby. 2 big songs on this for me were One and Mysterious Ways, the 2 singles. There were other good songs on here. There were no real like bad songs. I'm like, why'd you write this? Nothing like that on there. Just a lot of, I was surprised because I thought I liked Octung a little bit more than I do. Not that I don't like it, but I don't, how do you describe that? It didn't fall where I thought it was going to fall. A lot of middle of the road songs where I can put on and enjoy it, but they're not standing out in a big way. So if that makes sense. Definitely has a more of a unified sound as compared to Rattle and Hum, meaning it had more of a, Rattle and Hum went to gospel, to blues, to rock, kind of all over the place. This was kind of like a straight pop rock album with a more electronic feel to it, more unified that way. And the Edge does a great job of creating emotion with his guitar on there. And I know they were trying to get away. They're kind of getting away from the sound of Rattle and Hum, because from what I was reading, a couple sources, it said that, they kind of got criticized for going into gospel, blues, things like that. Like, who are you? What are you doing this for? I guess there are certain reasons why they went to a more electronic sound, trying to change make it a complete different sound than they did on Rattle and Hum. And then Zooropa. Yeah, this is where it definitely fell off for me. And I think I didn't go into pop, but I remember, yeah, pop was where I really fell off. I never bought Zooropa, But when the singles started coming out, I was like, I really don't like where they're going from here. And pop just fell off for me. And I've listened to their albums since. Been a couple songs here and there that I like, especially in a little while off of Everything You Can't Leave Behind. Was that the album? Getting soaked out here, boys and girls. Look what I do for you guys. I walk in the rain. First song, and Rob was pointing out too, that this is a very political album, and I didn't pick up on that. So I'm gonna have to, he knew the history of it with the Berlin Wall coming down and things like that. That inspired a lot of pieces off of this. So, and Zooropa was actually something right there in Berlin. So I got to do my homework, and he's a history guy too, and that how to think of it too. So, so of course he would know these things. But yeah, Zooropa sounds like it could have been right off of Achtung Baby. Probably was. I think there were some pieces that were left off of Achtung that carried over to Zooropa, from what I understand. I know they were writing this album between touring. They kind of went studio touring, while on tour. They kind of went back to the studio a couple times. So it just doesn't feel like it's has their full attention in this album. And I think it suffers for that, lyrics, music-wise, just kind of mediocre. And a lot of, definitely more electronic going towards that thing. Boy, better get out of here. Some songs have decent storytelling, but the music feels like it was created to fit the lyrics. And that never works for me. It's like the lyrics were there, and they built the music around it, and it's just, they don't gel together very well. I do like The Wanderer with Johnny Cash. Just, I wish it would have been an acoustic song, which wouldn't have fit this album at all anyway. But it's just weird with the electronic sound and Johnny Cash in here, but I love the lyrics on it. I don't know if that was a new song that they did, or if that's an old song of his. I don't know. I don't know his history that well. I like the song, I didn't like the production of it on there. I did like that Bono let Johnny Cash really take the lyrics, and Bono just accompanied him. Whew. Coming down now, boys and girls. But yeah, I would like to hear that song more of an acoustic style. I don't know if it's ever been redone anywhere by Johnny Cash or anything, but kind of like to hear that one. So out of the ranking of the 5 albums, with really the core of it being the main 3, Joshua Tree, Rattle and Hum, and Achtung. So number 5 would be Zooropa. And if we're using a school grading system, I'm going to speed it up, boys and girls, because it's getting wet out here. Zooropa got a D in my opinion. Got a 63. So Zooropa got a 63 on my test with a D, so low D. Number 4 was The Unforgettable Fire. It got a 70%, a C. So, like that one a little bit better, obviously. Then this is what surprised me. I thought my 3, 2, and 1 would be Joshua Tree, Achtung Baby, then Rattle and Hum. I knew Rattle and Hum was just going to be the big one. Okay, so number 3 would be Achtung Baby, 86% with a B+. B+, you got more than an 85, so you got a B+. Then Joshua Tree with 94%, an A, almost an A+. And Rattle and Hum, perfect 100% for me. 100% plus some with bonus material. It could be 110. Perfect album for me, always has been, and I wasn't surprised where that fell. I was just surprised where Joshua Tree and Achtung fell. But yeah, I guess I had it, I was right where I fall for you two. I'll never be a completist. I'm not going to do that, but I'll have those 3 albums, and that's where it'll go. I might go back and listen to some of those. Rob, made some points about some of their later stuff, like How to Dismantle and All That You Can't Leave Behind. So I'll go back and listen to those and see, just to give it another shot. But that's what I have for you. Let me know what you guys think. Where do you fall with you two? Are you completist? Do you have a certain area? I know some people feel more strongly about The Unforgettable Fire. I know they feel more strongly about that album and Joshua Tree. So let me know what you think. Where do you fall on that? And I think my next one's going to be Neil Diamond, believe it or not. We did the first 3 albums of Neil Diamond. He's been curious to me. I've never really listened to his albums full, but I wanted to go back because I knew there was a cool period of Neil Diamond before he got like cheesy 70s, 80s. Even though I do like the jazz singer, and that's 80s, but anyway. Yeah, so I wanted to listen to his early stuff, and I've listened to the first 2 right now. I'm on the 3rd one right now. So I'll give you my opinion on that. So Neil Diamond will probably be next. And we'll see. And might do a Taylor Swift, because believe it or not, I was talking to DJ, Scott DJ Vinyl Vertigo, and he was telling me how he liked the Folklore and what's the other one? There's Folklore and something else where it's more stripped down music. So I might give those a shot. So keep an eye out for that. You know, I'm gonna try all kinds of different stuff out here. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. Leave the comments below if there's any albums you want me to check out. You know, a group or 3 albums or something that you think are their trifecta or whatever you want to call it, where a band was really on fire for 3 albums or so. Put it in the comments. I'll take some notes and we'll see if I can get around to them. But I kind of like this little series. So anyway, until next time, I'll talk. You enjoy your music. That's what I was gonna say. Here in sunny Florida. There you go, sunny Florida right there, boys and girls. And take care, and I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.
I decided that I preferred to enact a lot of the material I was writing rather than perform it as myself. At this moment, I'm performing as myself, but I will continue in the future, after I've done what I wish to do at the moment, return back to writing stories, and I will enact them again, and I don't care what anybody says, I like doing it.